Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Star Trek Ganymede Season 1, Episode 7, Fading Suns. I am your Chief Engineer, Commander Korn, and joining us is our lovely cast and GM, and we'll bring them into the studio now. Go ahead.
Stardate 55524.5? That one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Ganymede is currently delivering supplies and scientific equipment to Epsilon 19, a scientific research station in the Asaran system. The station was originally built to study the sun of the Asaran system, which is decaying at an incredibly accelerated rate. Possibly even stranger, the sun has also begun emitting high levels of triolic radiation for unknown reasons.
Good.
And we'll be right back after the opening intro. Stay tuned. Back.
Okay, great. Well then, we are going to get things started. We are going to pick things up on the bridge of the USS Ganymede. Captain is sort of just keeping things at normal operations as you guys are approaching the. It is she said it in the log. Epsilon 19 outpost. In the Osaran system.
Alright.
Um,
Oh, and I just realized we got
and
disconnected from the game. Hold on.
yep, you're good. So the captain instructs the. You notice on your sensors there is another ship in orbit around the station.
Captain, I'm detecting another ship in the orbit of the station.
Yeah, on screen, and I'll have you put it on screen as.
Okay, well, that looks.
Well, that is the so that there that's the station.
Yeah, but that looks scary.
You recognize that immediately because you've seen one actually somewhat recently. That's an Orion ship.
Oh, really? That's okay.
Tactical analysis?
Should I scan it? Or do I?
He... Yes, you can. That'll be a reason security. Difficulty 1 assisted by the ship's sensors security. What?
Welcome.
Okay then.
Sensor security.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. We're off to this kind of a start, I guess.
Does anybody want to roll the ships?
Sensors.
Take that as a
Sensor
maybe.
security.
Yeah, I'm clicking it. It's not showing up for me.
Oh, hang on, it's blank for me too.
New ship.
Hang on.
I'm gonna get
My
it
D&D
now.
game, all the P20, so that was cool.
Oh, there it is. It just showed up.
Okay, good.
Can any of you guys see it?
Shuttles.
There we go. It
So,
was.
There's 6
It was.
momentum.
You're actually at 1 float.
Well, it was a diff 1, right?
But diff 0 because you have the god sensors.
Oh. Okay, well, what do we learn?
Countered. Free trader vessel Tanara.
Do we know their...
You're now at 6. Full momentum. Any advanced weapons or anything.
They currently.
No, you'll find that out. Yes, I do.
Okay,
but
so they don't. Stuff and
yeah, and you can see you're on the map. Like, this is your relative sizes. Of everything.
Powered down. No threat, Captain.
Still, Orions. Hang on, can I move to this? There's a face. Post Epsilon. Senior staff working to get the equipment brought over here as soon as possible. Transporters, shuttles, whatever you need, whatever methods you think are best suited for it. But when you have time, I'd appreciate if your senior staff could come over for a welcome dinner. We don't get many visitors out this way, especially with things being so recently completed. Yeah, I know. Commander Dahl, you recognize this guy?
I think we all do. He's Jesus.
Who is he? Or who do I remember him as?
You recognize him, not as Commander Johansson, but, Eric. And that's Eric with a CH.
Ooh, the most pretentious kind.
Yeah, You remember him? You remember him from the academy. Oh my god, he was so full of himself.
Looks like nothing's changed. Kara just gives the captain one of her looks. Like, this bullshit again. Ugh.
He seems quite pleasant to me.
Anyway,
Well, she's not saying anything out loud. I mean, she's still on view screen. It could be heard, so,
Yeah.
Anyway, I have other things I gotta take care of. Just keep me posted on, the, supply, transferal, and, I'll keep you posted on things from my end. Johansson out, and he screen cuts, and it's back to the station floating there in the middle of the screen with the Orion ship sort of just also drifting there.
What's the station's job?
I'll let Doll explain that. She's the one who has the info.
Let's see here. It is a scientific research station. They're studying the star of the Osaran system, which is where we are. Recently, the sun's begun emitting high levels of this weird radiation called triolic, Triolic. We don't know why. They don't know why, so they're here studying it.
Okay, so it's just a research station.
Basically, they're studying a star that's decaying at an accelerated rate, and we don't know why, so we're trying to figure out why.
It's safe to assume that this radiation is harmful, right?
If
Well,
you
nobody's got their
want,
shields up, so maybe not.
if you want, you can give me a reason science difficulty 2 roll to recall what you can about triolic radiation.
Or Doll or myself.
Probably a science officer. Or, I don't know, maybe the doctor.
Just waiting for roll 20 to actually let me see my character sheet.
Is it being crazy today?
It is being
Yeah, I can't see mine either.
really
I mean, I
weird.
just had a
not
Okay,
really
good.
having
I'm no
any
longer
issues.
the ship, thank goodness. Nope, I'm still the ship. Okay, hang on. There we go. Huzzah, I am myself again and no longer the ship. And you said reason science?
Yeah, reason science.
Okay. Does this fall under any of my focuses?
I'm gonna say no.
Probably not. Okay.
If you had something like theoretical physics, I'd give it to you, but no.
Yeah, no, I mean, sensors, yes, but that doesn't mean you understand everything that you are scanning with the sensors. You just, general overlay. Okay, let's see if that works.
Yep. Want to spend any momentum?
Nope, I already rolled. I'm good.
Oh, you're good.
And I'm still operating as commander instead of science officer for purposes
I figured as much. Sent you a memory alpha link.
Yay! I get to read.
This is at least. I mean, this is very limited because this is the most publicly recognized instance of triolic radiation, but it's shown up in other places too.
I'm trying to decide if I prefer the usual Grak or the cable version of Grak. Josh Brolin. Both are cool, but I think Josh Brolin needs a wig.
Oh, I remember this episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's the radiation from that episode.
It is the radiation from that episode. Okay. So, is somebody specifically asking Kara what the heck triolic radiation is?
I think the doctor did.
In which case, I'll throw your token on the bridge so that you're also there.
Commander Dahl taps a few buttons, and she says, this is what I remember about it, and a quick overview of it. Probably better than me rambling. She smiles a bit, because if she starts launching into one of her scientific explanations, we could be here a while. Yes.
Technobabble.
Only be prepared just in case we are exposed to it. It's in like medical bay or something like that. Like if I need to, my other medical officer in here with his advanced medicines and stuff. See if maybe we can.
Yeah, it's definitely something that a ship's deflectors can protect against with no issue. Like, and I don't just mean like shields. I mean like navigational deflectors.
Is it possible that we could travel back in time to San Francisco during the 1890s?
It does have to do with time travel in certain instances. Perhaps not this one. We don't know.
I have run I have run games where the crews have gotten shot back to Earth at earlier periods.
If we go back to the 1960s in San Francisco, I could wear like a little headband.
Yeah.
Kind of
Oh
thing.
no, I did a 19.
Tie-dye headband.
I specifically did a 1960s episode. Quick digression. I did a 1960s episode where they ran into that guy from the original series episode with the cat.
Nice.
The guy with the cat, and like they became the crew of that ship became what was known as the Shag Harbor UFO off Nova Scotia.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. I'll tell you guys about that later. I did some real fun things with that.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. So anyhow, yeah, that's what that is. Like that's what that's what triolic radiation is. It's a rather uncommon radiation form. But to that, the captain turns to you and he says, "Well, I'll hold things down here. Commander Dahl, if you'd handle the cargo transfer."
Aye, Captain. She doesn't look incredibly thrilled about that, but, you know, it's her job and she's not gonna balk.
She doesn't have like a love for warehouses or moving boxes, crates.
Sorry, I can barely hear you. Let me crank you up in volume. Are you specifically asking Kara?
No. I was just like, she didn't used to work at a warehouse or something, and she really likes moving crates and stuff.
No, more like she doesn't want to run into Eric with a CH.
Oh, right.
Eric with a CH.
That's fair. That's like is that like an Ian who calls himself Ian?
No, it's just it's a guy who has the most pretentious spelling of a name. It has nothing to do with the pronunciation.
Well, you know, isn't Ian more pretentious than Ian? Never mind.
It's like Tabby with an I.
Moving on.
All right. It's your play, Commander.
Well, we got a job to do. The sooner we do it, the sooner we can be gone, so...
So presumably you go about organizing the transfer of the cargo, and we'll move into the next scene. You guys go down a momentum.
Oh, the doctor is also asking if there is any way to prepare for this radiation.
No, yeah, that was the reason why I asked before. Just
okay.
Kind of my value there.
Yeah, give me a reason medicine difficulty 2. Okay, we'll do this before the scene changes. Reason medicine difficulty 2 to effectively give yourself the advantage that you've prepared some doses of radiation inoculant.
Is it alright if I spend the momentum?
Yeah, go ahead.
How much you want to spend?
It's there to be spent, yeah.
I'm hoping I can get some back in return. So.
No worries.
How many do I need to burn to get an extra die?
Just one.
So that makes the testicle 3, right? Sorry, it's been a little bit.
Yeah. No, it's fine. That's fine. And you get the momentum back, although it doesn't super matter because it's about to vanish anyway. But have some. It's standard practice that whenever a medical officer goes somewhere, typically they'll bring their their medical kit with them. If they're on duty, even if they're going to like a friendly station, if they're on duty and acting in their capacity as the medical officer, it's standard procedure to bring your medical kit with you. The advantage you've created is also stowed in your medical kit. You have a few extra hypos of radiation inoculant.
Sweet. Thank you.
So we'll move on to the next scene as after a number of hours of Ganymede onto the other ship, you guys are getting ready to transport over with the last batch. So, Kara, if you could throw out one of the momentum you've got, because we're now in a new scene, so that means you lose a momentum. Right, and then get some tokens, and then... As you all appear on a transporter pad with sort of one of the final crates of equipment, and I don't have them on this map, but a couple of Starfleet officers step forward to you to take the equipment off your hands. When another officer, also a human woman, approaches you, Commander, and says, "All right, that's the last of it. At your convenience, Commander Johansson wants to invite all of you to dinner."
I will pass that information along to the captain. Thank you for the invitation. I will have to see what he says, though.
Very good.
My character may have looked a little hopeful at the mention of food, but I guess if
For whatever unknown reasons, Kara is not excited to stay here any longer than she has to be. Even though she too absolutely loves food.
Food.
Ryan's been invited to.
Yeah,
this.
I'm assuming so.
At this point, the Starfleet officer has left the room.
Oh, they seem to have disappeared. I'll go out to the hall and yell out the question again.
Going to spend 2 threat just for the lulls. Just as you get out into the hallway, the turbo lift door closes and looks like they're on their way.
And I think you just walked through a wall, actually. I think this is the exit portion.
Commander Dahl is pinching the bridge of her nose.
That's a Vulcan ability. A lot of people don't know about. Well, they don't appear to enjoy answering questions.
I guess not.
It's fascinating.
I guess we can talk to the captain about this.
I suppose we should probably get off this pad here before someone gets beamed on top of us. So,
Yeah.
Are we invited to stay here, or are we ordered to return to the ship?
We're still on the station.
Yes. This pad. Oh, yes, this pad you were on. You are on the station. Like, this is where you got. Yeah, this pad that you guys are on. You're on the station right now. You've just arrived, having brought the last batch of, the last crate of stuff. Specifically, it's a few replacement parts for a specific radiometry defragmenter.
I'm detecting an unusual response from these people, Commander. Permission to investigate further?
Permission granted. I feel a bit uneasy about accepting their invitation, and I can't finger on why. I know the commander. I don't particularly care for the commander, but professionalism dictates we should accept, but I still feel very uneasy about it.
Well, perhaps you don't have to accept yourself, but the captain might.
I would never put any of you in any kind of danger that I was not willing to walk into myself.
The hero. Yeah, Carrick was giving you Carrick code for these guys are acting weird.
Yeah. So, Kara taps her comm badge. Commander Dahl to Captain.
Holloway, go ahead.
Captain, we have been graciously invited to stay for dinner here. Do you want us back on the ship, sir?
Dinner really isn't my thing, but you guys go on ahead and enjoy yourselves.
You are sure you have no need of us there, Captain?
I'm sure.
I think she's trying to be subtle.
I have paperwork that I have to handle myself. I'll catch up with you all later.
Very well, sir. Holloway out. Or, all out.
I want to give a momentum to Grennan for his apt portrayal with the exasperated answering of the comms. Like,
that very.
What?
It was very Holloway, I guess.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Good.
It seems like we need to update our call for help code wording here. That was pretty subtle there, Commander.
You guys tried just asking for help.
Something?
Or we could just simply go back. Is it dinner time yet?
Carrick looks around.
Yeah.
To be fair, Captain doesn't seem like one that enjoys dinners at all.
Do not believe the captain enjoys social events, no.
Oh, yes, as you had asked. Yes, they had I'll delete it off the map. They grabbed that box. Like, a few officers picked up that box with the hover grabs and carted it off.
Dahl's lips are set in a fairly displeased line. It's pretty unusual for her face to be anything other than neutral or pleasantly open.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you would all like to go back to the ship, I will bite the bullet, as it were, as my grandfather would say, and take the blame for it. We can go back.
I would like to stay here and investigate, personally.
I have 4 stomachs to fill. They have messed up.
Very well, then.
Corn is
Keep your eyes and ears open, then.
Request to stay here, too, to kind of help with the investigation if needed.
If you're going back to the ship, perhaps you could scan the. If I heard that correctly, if you are going back to the ship, perhaps you could scan the station.
So I normally don't like to do this kind of out of character stuff, but this is my word of warning to you that if you go back to the ship, you're not going to be
Kara's
the
not
rest of
going
the
back to the
adventure.
ship. She's not leaving these guys
Yes.
here. This are crew. These are
No,
her,
right.
these are her
It's
buddies
it's
and her
more of
comrades.
the discussion of going back to the ship is, and if anyone takes up that opportunity, you're more or less out of the adventure.
It's very much, hey, here are the railroads, just play along for a little bit.
Woo woo! Chicka, 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 chicka.
Yes. Sorry to railroad, but
No, it's cool.
it happens a lot where I find modules that I like to run, and I like to do a little pre-setup for the module.
Mhm. it's better than somebody choosing to go back to the ship and then being out of the session.
Right.
So,
Like, yeah, I don't want that to
to
happen.
warn them.
Yeah.
Somebody's a really fast typer.
Yeah, that'd be me. Sorry.
Ye-
There's a reason you guys made me science officer.
Here's how I type. It's like this.
One finger at a time.
Okay. Yeah. You can do that. You can do that, doll. I won't even make you do a roll.
Yay!
So, what are you guys going to do?
I'm gonna make them regret inviting us to dinner. Because I'm gonna eat a lot of food.
Mm.
And put those replicator rations to work.
Maybe I should have determined the number of life forms aboard the Orion ship and determined if it was at full capacity or not.
Well, you wouldn't be able to do that from here.
Is the author like listening to? Oh, he might be watching our stream.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he's watching.
Yeah.
Maybe Zeldan shows up for a little cameo in the session. What's up?
So,
Where's the spawn?
yeah, what's your plan?
Let's go socialize or go find a way to this mess hall that we were invited to. I guess with the commander leading, of course. I'm not gonna.
Did I get the results for the sensor scan? I mean, I'm helping out
I
whoever
mean-
wanted to scan for anything.
Okay. If you're waiting around for those results, I mean, yeah, sure, the scans come back, and I mean, nothing's really out of the ordinary. I mean, the weird thing is that there's all this odd radiation in the system. Sort of this odd background radiation of triolic waves. But other than that,
The station's adequately shielded against it, I'd hope.
yeah. Oh yes,
It
absolutely.
is pretty
Yeah.
detrimental to life forms if it actually hits them.
Oh yes,
so.
like as I mentioned, it's something that can be protected against with even some of the most rudimentary navigational deflectors.
Oh, excellent.
So it's not much to protect a station from it.
Well, you see Doll being a nerd stuck to her data pad there for a moment or two. She kind of shrugged slightly. She said, well, at least we're not going to be crispy critters. I have every confidence in this station's ability to protect us from the radiation being emitted from the sun, so at least there's that. She looks a little calmer.
Does my Vulcan biology protect me from this radiation?
No.
Darn it.
This is
Vulcan biology never protects me from anything.
I was going to say, last time a Vulcan tried to tank radiation,
Spock happened.
Spock died.
Ship
So
out of danger.
so presumably you'll head up.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and head
Okay.
towards
It takes a turbo lift ride, but you arrive on the floor, and according to this, they have a sort of little dining room set up towards the back, presumably for some of the senior staff of the station to use.
Are we going here to eat, or I don't want to
Correct. Correct.
I don't want to sit on a random chair like that's my seat. Oh my bad. Sorry.
The author suggested that we role play our walking, so I'm gonna very slowly walk towards the area we're going. As sort of an homage to the Blackwell.
And I'm just gonna stand here until Commander takes the lead, I guess, or just walks in front of us.
There we go. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. There we go.
Was the dinner? Is the dinner like right now, or
yes.
did they give us? Okay.
Yes.
Carrying without my class A's.
The door. If it's like a public area, I'll just walk in.
Yes, you do. And interestingly enough, you so presumably you guys are gonna let me move your tokens up. As the door opens, you see the people who are sitting in the room. A couple of them you expected, being the commander and she looks like a scientist. It's a Bolian woman. On the other end of the table, however, is a little more surprising.
They all just transported in from the GM layer. It's an Orion, and whatever these guys are.
You recognize those as Nausicaans.
Oh, Nausicaans.
However, they are not sitting. They are just sort of standing off to the side, arms crossed.
I bet this Bolian's a good singer. All step.
I think we're getting more frame drops, ladies and gentlemen.
No trouble at all.
Just sit here.
Yeah.
Bold of
No,
you
in
to
fact, she does not, but it is probably a good idea. She smiles and nods to the other commander. Commander, thank you for the invitation.
Oh, Kara, nice to see you out this way.
Nice to see you too, Eric. You've done well for yourself.
Yeah, I suppose I have. Kind of out of the way, though, but hey, Commander ain't too bad. Honestly, kind of surprised to see you wearing the red myself.
Life has its unexpected
Yeah,
surprises.
you were always buried in your books.
Still am.
Didn't
Things changed there.
Yeah. Me, I tried to focus a bit more on my command studies, and then across the table says, "Oh, your command studies? Why don't you give me some focus, Eric dear?" And he immediately goes, "Oh, right, yeah, sorry, this is Paja. She is an Orion trader. She's staying here while we provide some minor repairs for her ship."
Very Starfleet of you.
Yes. They only arrived a couple hours ago. I figured since I was gonna have you all for here for dinner, might as well invite her.
Of course. That is definitely the polite thing to do, I would say.
Yes, and where are my manners? This is Dr. Lanana Mosa. She's the head scientist on the project.
A pleasure, Doctor.
Likewise.
I look forward to reading the results in the future as to why the sun is emitting such radiation. Highly intriguing.
Indeed, we currently don't know why it's doing so, but we have determined that this is likely not a new phenomenon. This decay process appears to have been increasing at an exponential rate over the past millennia. However, the decay rate increased a bit more over the last year, prompting Starfleet to begin building this outpost.
Absolutely fascinating.
Yes, we're expecting total stellar collapse sometime in the next 6 months.
Oh my. Well, I
Yes,
hope they evacuate you in time.
That shouldn't be necessary.
Oh?
Yes, you see, and Eric just sort of leans back, rolls his eyes. He wishes he could be listening to anything else right now. You see, we don't expect Osarin Prime to go Nova. You see, according to preliminary energy readings, the energy spikes that would predicate a stellar collapse resulting in a nova aren't occurring. The energy buildup appears to just be vanishing.
Huh. That is most unusual.
Indeed, there are a few theories. One of the more popular ones among our researchers is that due to the presence of triolic radiation, some speculate that this excess energy may be slipping into an alternate dimension.
That would be my first guess.
Fascinating.
Interesting.
But currently, there's no specific evidence to support that hypothesis.
Well, the thing we know about hypothesize is that they must be tested, so I am sure you'll get your chance to see what is really going on here.
Have there been any scans within the sun that might give evidence as to what may be consuming this energy that is now being produced?
Kara nods. She thinks that's a good idea. She looks to the other doctor.
Dr. Darlow Cross, by the way, I'm sorry.
Doctor of...
Cybernetics mostly, but a little bit of that, a little bit of this. So.
So a medical doctor.
Oh, yes, I apologize. I'm just take that doctor's name for granted there too many times. I realize scientists have doctor in the names as well. Sorry.
She lets out a bit of a laugh. And at this point, Paja looks over to one of her Orions and says, now would be a good time. Could you bring them in? And the Nausicaan nods, walks off into the back, and then he comes back in with a cart. I am not so rude as to make myself a guest, and not come with gifts. I have brought some items from our stock that I hope you will accept, Commander Johansson.
Before any gifts are being pulled out, is there some sort of like insight check, or like she's gonna pull out a gun or a bomb? It's like, aha, here's my gift.
Sure.
I was wondering the same thing.
I mean, frankly, I'm suspicious of this thing in this room, but,
I'm just generally suspicious because I spent a lot of time with the captain. Pretty suspicious of everyone in this room, actually.
God. Oh, dear. Okay, so this is a presence command versus presence command versus insight command, or insight command.
It's not security to determine if there's a security risk.
Okay, for you it's a security risk, but for you it'll just be insight 2. It'll be difficulty 2, whereas someone who's trying to get a read on her, that's going to be a command check.
I'd almost rather let anyone else roll besides me, because my presence command is
No, it's insight command.
Would composure?
It's insight command if you're trying to read her, insight security if you're trying to like read the situation.
Yeah.
But she is going to be able to oppose an attempt to read her with her own presence command.
Would composure apply, since I'm trying not to draw attention to the fact that I'm doing a security reading of the room?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Will cultural studies help me out with focuses?
I'll allow that one.
What's the diff?
For you, it's only difficulty 2 for the insight security.
Okay.
For reading her, it's opposed.
I'll buy a die with threat.
Okie doke.
Can I go ahead and buy a die with momentum, if you guys are cool with that?
Yep.
So
I get it's there for spending. So I would only say ask if you're going to spend it all.
So I
Didn't do shit.
Oh no!
Do you have cautious?
Well, you wouldn't have cautious command.
Negative.
You're not the kind of doctor that has cautious command? Okay, that makes sense.
Oof.
Well,
sorry.
We can quash that complication.
With momentum?
Or you could just re-roll it with determination.
Wait, what can I do?
So, there are 2 ways to get around that complication. You can either spend 2 momentum out of the pool, which, because you spent a momentum, you're down to 4. You'd spend 2 more momentum, you're down to 2. But you wouldn't have to deal with the complication. The other thing you could do is burn your determination, use a value, and just re-roll your entire pool, but that uses your determination.
I'm going to say my determination. How much...
it's 2 momentum to quash it.
How much threat do you have right now? 10?
Yeah.
I
gave you one.
Yes, now I do have 10.
Yeah, let's go and get rid of that complication.
Okay, so you're down to 2 momentum.
Sorry, guys.
And you made the insight security check. Oh, but you get the momentum. You get that momentum you spent back. So you're actually at 3 momentum then.
Is there a way to make the momentum cards like accessible to everyone, so that we can just pull out the momentum when we use it? And we don't have to.
Unfortunately, not, because the way the cards work. They have to go to someone.
Yeah, I got you.
I just yell at me, doll, momentum, and I'll Aziz light.
Yeah,
I'll get it.
Yes. So doll, so doll, you're at 3 momentum.
Okay, there you go.
Multipass.
I don't know if my request got lost in the shuffle, but
it might have.
Surface emotions of her.
Yes.
I'm a telepath. I mean,
okay.
Everybody radiates emotions. If I focus, I should be able to pick up on what she's feeling.
Okay, so that's also going to be insight command, but you have an advantage because you're actually wait. I got to double check.
Mine as well. I'm not looking for like what she's thinking, like "Mwahaha, I have them now."
Right.
I'm looking for general surface emotions, like is she feeling derisive or subversive or angry, that sort of thing that might lead me to want to read the surface thoughts.
Yeah, that's fine.
Inside.
Is she pheromoning all of us? What did I learn with my success? You can type it to me if you want.
Yeah. So, the reason it was such a simple test is because really there's not much to say about what she's brought in. It's some fairly innocuous stuff as they take the items and they put them on the table. I just had it. Found it. First they pick out they pull out some bottles of French wines, Chateau Picard.
I've heard that's garbage wine.
Oof. Looks like they brought some Delvin fluff pastries, probably for dessert. And ooh, that's a Triaxian silk robe.
Impressive.
Like, those are some quality gifts.
Is it a unisex robe?
Yeah. And she just sort of leans forward and just goes, "What's mine is yours." So she also has to make an opposed against you. She does not get a bonus momentum, however. I am going to spend a threat to give her a bonus momentum. You brought crack. That's gift enough.
Here and doing our duties, technically gift.
Yes. Yeah, no, you're not getting a particularly great read on. It's that damn like Orion thing that like the Orion women do, where you just
coquettish and mysterious and coy.
Yeah, and not only that, but yeah, no, trying to focus too much on her emotions. Oh boy, that gives you a headache.
Probably.
I don't suppose you picked up anything.
Sure Orion female sex drives are through the roof, so
Orions are fine.
Don't want to delve too deep into that.
The Orions are fine as long as they don't go rubbing their green painted hands through Grax's toupee. Fine.
I don't suppose you picked anything up from our host, did you? I don't suppose when she was doing her whole telepathic thing, she picked up anything from our host?
Well, I was specifically looking for the green rhyme, but I suppose I can turn my focus back to Eric because he was acting really weird when he introduced the Orions that just arrived a couple of hours ago. Makes me wonder if maybe he didn't invite us to dinner because he might be in trouble.
Yeah,
we did just have really bad run-ins with the Orions, and the captain now has a frenemy, so, you know. I'm going to be suspicious. I'm going to be racist against Orions. I'm sorry.
Okay, this case, just give me an insight command difficulty 2. I'm not even going to make this opposed.
Okay.
Did Dahl have any response when Carrick said Eric questioningly when you called him that instead of his name?
Nice. You get a momentum.
Dahl smiles a bit. We were together in the academy. We were classmates. She nods.
Yeah. The emotion you're getting off of him is not concern or fear or anything. It is in a word, smitten.
Ooh. Dahl just sort of glances sidelong at Eric. There's just a hint of a smile on her face.
Oh my.
But you know, readdressing her crew is more important. She looks back and sees if there's any other questions.
I'm gonna ask a question.
Yeah.
That's how I roll. Why do you call him Eric when his name is... What was his name again?
Johansson.
What was his first name?
Eric.
Oh, I thought you said he had a different first name.
Eric Johansson.
Okay, sorry, I missed that. I thought you said something else when you said his name.
Well, by Earth cultural standards, it would be rude of me to call him simply by his last name or by his title. So
Yeah,
we did know each other.
was a player mess up. I thought he said a different first name.
Mm.
And I was like, why did he change his name? There's something to this. I must investigate further.
Now, I hope you don't mind, Paja says, like, leaning forward. I don't want to think that I'm trying to butter you up too much with these fancy gifts and everything. Small baubles, really. But, I was wondering if, while we're here getting repairs, my crew is really bored right now. It's very small and cramped ship. The crew's getting a bit claustrophobic. We were wondering if maybe some of them could use some of the station's entertainment facilities.
This is not Doll's place, so she's quiet as she just sort of listens in.
Yep. And, second. Yeah, the commander nods and thinks it over for a couple seconds. Says, "Yeah, I don't see why not. I think we can accommodate you." I presume none of you are going to say anything to that?
I just feel like this is not my place to say anything. I'm like,
I mean, he can do it. Is it against any Starfleet regulations that I know about?
It's not against any regulations per se. It's just it's allowing an alien crew, even not necessarily open access, but limited access to a Federation science research outpost.
What was the reason that we had an altercation with the Orions again? It was a long time ago, so I don't remember.
They tried to hijack our ship and hack stuff, and they tried to steal that power source, and then they tried to shoot the crap out of us. They were in general assholes.
What was their reasoning, though? Do we know?
They wanted to profit off of the power source that was found in the ancient ruins.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And
Parlez-vous français?
Right. Well, I will say, reminder, a thing about the Orion. They kind of have a whole thing where there's the Orion, there's the Orion government, and then there's the Orion Syndicate, which is a separate thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then there are also, free traders who aren't necessarily a member of any particular government, but are just free, open traders.
The guys we dealt with were part of the syndicate?
No, he was also a free merchant, if I recall correctly.
Oh, really?
Wait, hang on. It might not be the case. I'll find out that answer in a moment.
I think the ones that were at trying to get that power source, I think they were doing it for the Empress or something like that, weren't they? Or something like that?
No, they weren't. I can tell you that they were doing that.
Okay.
Well,
I can tell you that for sure.
The captain put a log about it on Memory Alpha, right?
Or in the fleet reports. Yeah, I just don't remember. I don't know if it's explicitly said who.
Is that something that this commander would have access to?
Hang on a moment. I'll tell you in a sec. I got the doc. I think.
Mag hates it when I ask him questions like
that. Don't have the answer for you right now. This is the best I'll say.
Well, if I believe that he has access to that stuff, then I'll say, pardon me, Commander, have you had an opportunity to read the fleet logs from Stardate blah 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 blah?
No, not really. Not really.
Perhaps this would be a good opportunity to peruse.
Hey, look, we're in the middle of dinner.
Commander with a stare.
We're kind of in the middle of a dinner right now.
It's pertinent. Would you like to borrow my data pad?
I'm good. I'd rather just, he looks around at all of you, and then he looks up at Paja. Eat dinner.
Wait,
Is that a
Tasha-
human euphemism for, and then I just eye the Orion, and then the commander, or the guy?
Dahl is totally not going to correct Grack on that one. I mean,
Oh,
he can say what he wants.
oh dear.
Oh my.
Oh my. Hang on, I'm trying to read. I'm also going to read the. This
Orion, it's what's for dinner.
Oh God. Where is it? Ah, there it is. The prize. That's what that episode was. I just had trouble finding the PDF doc. Oh, for God's sake.
Come on, Greg, you're gonna let Eric get your girl?
He thinks he has a strong jawline. Mine is far superior. I've got better hair. this is easy.
Can't be denied.
Mhm.
Which one's your girl, Greg?
Oh, I'm just totally hitting on the Orion.
Oh, okay, great. So,
hold
so
on
the
a moment.
volume's available to be.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Here we go. Give me some. Ah, I remember now. No, he was not with the Orion Syndicate. He was just his own. He was his own guy.
Okay.
He was his own man. Tulem. So yeah, it looks like it sounds, from at least from what this woman is saying, it sounds like she's in the same boat as Tulem was, sort of being your own trader and doing your own thing. And someone wanted to do something. I blanked. Sorry, I was trying to find an answer to that one really question about the Orions. So what are you guys doing now?
I'm just eating anchovies.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm eating some Hasperat.
Good. So, unless there's anything specific that you want to do, then I guess the rest of the dinner will go by with very little event.
Did he say anything about about entertainment, or what's going on with that? Did he agree?
Yeah, he agreed.
Oh,
and
I mean,
no one corrected him, or
Oh,
no
we
one
tried.
told him not to.
We tried. He declined to accept it.
now is that throughout all of the ship? Like everyone's like, "Hey, everyone take the day off or whatever. Take time off and enjoy yourself." Or it's just like,
I mean, usually that kind of thing you got to do in shifts. You don't want everyone to leave
Right, for
your
sure.
ship at once. But yeah, you more or less.
I make a mental note that this commander might be incompetent. I'm sure Captain Holloway will give him a good talking to with his fists.
Alrighty.
will we be partaking in this entertainment as well, Commander Dahl?
Oh yeah. Oh. You're all welcome to.
Just looking hopeful at Dahl. I was like,
Commander Johansson says, "Yeah, you're all welcome to," and he motions to Dahl. And what do you think, Kara?
Far be it from me to deny my crew fun when there is time for fun.
Great.
Best boss ever.
Great.
You guys
Wow.
want to have fun? I mean, so far there's nothing dangerous happening, you know? Okay, so maybe she's just being paranoid.
Fun is an inefficient use of time and is highly illogical.
Kara is not going to be a cock block if that's what's going to happen. Not going to happen.
Beautiful. Well, that's it then. The commander says, wiping off his mouth with his napkin and setting it down. I'm going to get to I'm gonna head up to ops, oversee the unloading of the new equipment. Everyone, have a good evening. And notably, when he said "everyone have a good evening," he didn't look around the table at all of you. He was just looking.
You cut off.
Who was just looking at
Paja the whole time when he said that. Like, he didn't look around the table and say, "Everyone have a good evening," straight across the table
I'm sorry.
at Paja and said, "Everyone have a good evening."
That seems rude.
That seems.
It is
Dude,
rude.
he's
Well, I
we're
totally say it.
find his
I
body
look
on
at
his
Denny
bed.
eye.
Hey, here's a use for my Vulcan physiology. Aren't I resistant to the Orion pheromone thing?
Yeah, that is correct.
According to-
Anyhow, I'll have a good evening, and he leaves.
We all just sit there awkwardly.
Well, I was trying to figure out what the bullying's name was.
Oh, that is Dr.
Doctor?
Dr. Lanana Mosa.
Doctor?
Doctor. Oh boy. Uh, uh, Well, if that'll be all, I suppose I should get back to my ship and let my crew know the good news. She says, standing up, and the Nausicaans sort of fall in behind her as she leaves.
I was probably standing this whole time when the captain left or when she left, just kind of, if that's what we're supposed to do when people leave, just stand
Mhm.
upright.
And then the Bolian also stands and he says, "This was very pleasant. I have to get back down to the science labs. A lot of new equipment to inventory. We're finally going to be able to get up to full running capacity."
Good evening. Oh, she's gone.
Leaving you all there in the room.
Anyone want
So
to-
should we pregame now, or?
Like, I'm not a doctor, but I play one in bed.
Oh, no!
Wait, what'd you say? I didn't hear you.
Referencing Kara's comment.
Ooh, that was the worst.
I
Ugh.
did my time at a university that also had a medical program, so you can imagine the
Oh.
horrible pickup lines. I ate at the Irish pub on campus because it was the only place that wouldn't give you food poisoning, right? Well,
Oh,
okay,
God.
so half-drunk dudes used to hit on me like, I've got someone, thank you.
God. Ugh.
The best pickup line is always, can I buy you a drink or do you just want the money?
Wow. No. No. Wrong.
The proper response to that is neither. Good evening.
That is correct.
Jesus. Moving on. Moving on from that.
Sorry, I used to be a bartender, so I've heard them all.
Ooh, yep,
Ooh.
you would definitely hear more than I would.
Alrighty.
Pretty funny ones. Most of them are really
So
dumb.
you guys, I presumably you guys are gonna head out from here.
Kara just sort of sips her drink and she looks down at Grak and she looks over at the doctor. You gentlemen need to up your game if that's what you're playing for.
Carrick looks
You are
around
both too
confused.
subtle. Sip.
No, honestly, I was about to, but the DM kind of like walked around. I was like, well, I guess she'll sleep. I'll meet her at the science lab later. That's fine. I was trying to like write down her name, so.
Ye- And... Oh no.
Carrick just kind of like gives a kind of a pshaw.
Pshaw.
I only worry about that kind of stuff every 7 years.
You know, that's fair.
That's not coming up, is it?
Let me check my calendar. Uh-oh.
What's coming up?
He just freezes.
I need to return to the ship immediately.
So presumably you guys are gonna where are you guys gonna head?
I find this situation highly unusual, Commander. This other commander, Eric as you call him, has seemed to have no response to my given it was subtle, but my suggestion that he read the captain's log.
No, he is,
Seems to be a thing with commanders nowadays.
Well, now you know why the Admiralty is not on somebody's favorite list. No, it isn't that you are too subtle, it is that he's unwilling to hear. What he wants to do right now was green-skinned and sitting at the end of the table. And that's pretty much all he wants to do. He doesn't seem much different than I remember, which is very overly confident and always goes after what he wants. Even if it means bending a few rules.
Yup, that describes the Eric Johansson you remember to a T.
Commander Johansson seeks intimate relations with this Orion.
Carrick, I have you turned up to 200% and I still can't hear you.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. I'm all maxed out. I've heard that from other people.
I can hear you just fine.
Cool.
Yeah, and I gotta get something to the dock.
Well, really, you're just lucky then, Kara.
Oh.
No, I want to be able to hear other side of conversations so that I can converse. I like talking.
I was just making Vulcans being overly logical about everything joke.
But that's perfectly sensible. She's of science discipline. She appreciates the logic.
God, my character really wants to ask if like Eric ever pursued Commander Dahl.
I wasn't his type. She sort of makes a really big hourglass figure, waviness in the air. He prefers other types.
Easy?
Spiders?
Yes, you got it, Lieutenant Crack.
See, I'm good at this game.
She grins.
Oh my god, the gossip, the hot goss is real.
Oh yes, the DNA strand shape. Got you.
Eric just looks really confused. He's interested in spiders?
No, Grak had the right of it. He is interested in things that are female and easy. I might have been one of them and still am, but I am not the other.
Oh dear. So it's probably at about this point you get to the turbo lift.
Does Grak actually have 4 stomachs?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Lurian physiology, yes.
Yeah, Lurians have 4 stomachs.
Xenobiology is Kara's focus. She would cheerfully tell you such things.
Do they,
Well, like my character probably knew. I just didn't. That was
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
do you have like a
you do.
booze stomach and then like a food stomach and then
And an adventure
One for food,
stomach,
one for
like-
booze, one for latinum.
Or I'm sorry, 2 stomachs.
Two
I
stomachs,
think.
4 hearts.
Yes.
well,
4. No, it's
a
4.
lot
It's
of heart
multiple hearts, 4 lungs, 2 stomachs.
redundancies.
Yeah. Like I think even Klingons would look at that and say, "Dial it back."
Yeah, their perk is actually better than the Klingon perk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so some of the other stuff the Klingons get though is also better. So,
Boop.
So yep, the turbo lift door opens for you. And I presume y'all clamber in.
Oh, yeah.
And turbo lift door opens. Gonna call out a place, I assume.
after Greg burps in the elevator or something. Just wafts around.
Drac just passes gas
I will
in
take
the
the other
elevator.
Yeah, we all go to different elevators.
I will take the other turbo lift.
You will?
I mean, if they're blowing this one up.
It's a safety caution at this point. This is a safety precaution.
Okay, so because there are 2 turbo lifts, who's going in?
I'll go on the first one. I'm not scared of nothing.
I'll follow Grack.
Okay.
I'll go with correct. just to complete the bit here.
Okay.
We can stay together. It's probably best if we stay together.
And who's going where?
We'll just all go wherever.
Okay.
I thought they were all going the same place anyway, so never mind. Sorry.
I'm gonna follow my crew to whatever fun times they're headed to. She's not particularly interested in pursuing fun times of her own. None of them are Holodeck 3, so hey. But you don't split up the party, so she's going along.
I will go with them just to maintain security.
Okay.
I don't care about fun. Fun is silly, but I will watch over them.
Okay. Is someone gonna call out a place?
They are all going to their
I don't know where
hollow
we're supposed to be headed
deck.
out of character. I'd call it out.
The entertainment deck.
Yeah, that works. As the turbo lift starts to move. You're maybe about 10 seconds in when all of a sudden the lift screeches to a halt. The lights go out and the turbo lift drops. You
Damn, we could have lived. Correct. We could have lived.
Computer, stop turbo lift.
Nothing happens
Uh,
as the turbo lift just continues to fall, and then the emergency brakes kick in, and after a few floors, the lift screeches to another stop. Lights flickering a little bit. The lights flicker a moment. They go dark, and then the emergency lights kick in again. And no sooner do they do than something just blew up in the shaft above you.
Oh my.
Well, if the lights are back on, Kara removes herself politely from Grack's arm.
Commander Korn is going to kind of like throw up a hand and like no one move. I suspect the cables have been severed.
So hang on. First things first.
Cables in the turbo lift.
Everybody, make me everyone make me a daring or fitness plus security. Difficulty of 3.
Does
Oh man, my worst stats.
does mentioning earlier that I was bracing have any impact on this?
No. This is to determine whether or not you're even able
Even able to
Will
what?
my spring ball reflexes come into play here?
your what?
my spring ball focus.
Don't forget we have momentum.
I'm gonna
will-
say no.
I will
So
buy it.
yeah, so keep in mind you can go in any order you want.
I will buy a die with threat. Does my focus in karate stances
No.
help me at all?
Nice try, but
I
no.
can't do the horse stance.
No.
I guess I'll buy one with momentum.
Okay, so who's gonna roll first?
I guess I am.
I
That's a
rolled.
no. That's a no crack. That's no doll.
I
you
succeed.
you did make it. So did Grack.
I'm rolling fitness and security. Is that what I'm rolling, or
Fitness or daring, whichever's better for you.
All right, I'm rolling.
Yeah, that's a no.
and we're all doing security?
Yeah, it's all security.
The
for
Act
everyone.
Twins succeed.
Uh,
I fucking crush it again.
ah. Okay, Commander Dahl, you take 2 stress. Oh, by the by, we're in another scene, so you also go down 1 momentum.
That'd put us at 2, I think, because somebody bought 1
Yeah.
momentum.
So, Dahl, if you could bring us down to 2 momentum.
I think oh, never mind. I was gonna say you have to say doll momentum.
Dahl, momentum!
There you go.
Yeah,
That's the code.
That's the code. So that's... So you
It can
take 2
also have
stress,
been
and then...
daring.
Hang on. Then Korn takes 3 stress. And Dr. Cross... Ooh! Dr. Cross, you take 4 stress.
You know, why are you rolling excellent against me? Like,
There's a reason.
Fortunately, that's... Fortunately, that's not enough for an injury. But, yeah, so yeah,
medic, help!
So Dahl, you go flying against the against the wall while Karak and Grak brace themselves. Korn, you you also get hit a bit against the wall, whereas Dr. Cross, you just as soon as like the thing slams to a stop, you just go whoop, hit the floor.
Can I use some first aid on the doctor? Does that do anything?
Yes, you can. There's a
Emergency medicine as well.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
I got field medicine and first response.
Hold up.
I just wanted to show off my mad first aid skills. Flexing over here, flossing my chips.
Hold on a moment there.
I'm not just a one-trick pony.
So
have 2 tricks.
keep in mind, no one is injured.
So that's what I was asking, because I have never done first aid, so I don't know if it affects stress
Right.
or just injuries.
So
How do you explain my hurt pride?
I mean, you can do medical to heal stress, but I think that might be a medical officer exclusive thing. I don't 100% remember.
I don't know.
We're having an electrical fault here, so I will have to shut down and reboot my computer. So, if we want to cut to break quickly or something like that, because right now my alarm is going off.
Or just keep
Stay
playing.
safe.
My parents are going to kill me if the alarm keeps going.
So,
Go turn it off.
I have to shut down my computer to do that.
Maybe
Yeah,
check
so
and
go
see
ahead,
what the
do it.
cause is.
Yeah, no, and it's fine. I have to go ahead and do that. We can take a quick break while I try to track down
Alright.
the proper rules for healing stress.
It doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Slight technical difficulties. We'll be restarting the stream, so this will be a 2-segment stream that will be combined and edited down later. So we apologize for the inconvenience.